say on television it's America's favorite cookie.
Please pass the craft cheese macaroni.
One of those, these? Okay, thanks.
In the 1970s, some foods we now consider junk were actually regarded as healthy choices. People used to snack on nutritious nuts, but as time went on, food trends shifted. So today, join us as we explore 20 junk foods from today that were actually healthy in the 1970s.
Yes. Hostess announces snack cakes now fortified with vitamins and iron. You can thank the Hostess bakers for new vitamin-fortified snack cakes.
Hostess Twinkies. Back in the 70s, Hostess Twinkies were considered a relatively wholesome snack. They were made with simple ingredients like real eggs, milk, and sugar. These ingredients provided a more natural and straightforward treat, making Twinkies a fun and acceptable snack for many families. Real eggs and milk gave the cakes a richer flavor and a better nutritional profile than today's version. Twinkies underwent significant changes to extend their shelf life and reduce production cost. Introducing high fructose corn syrup, hydrogenated oils, and various preservatives transformed Twinkies into the less healthy snacks we know today. High fructose corn syrup, which replaced much of the natural sugar, is linked to numerous health issues, including obesity and diabetes. Hydrogenated oils, used to extend shelf life and maintain texture, contain trans fats, which contribute to heart disease. The numerous preservatives ensure Twinkies can sit on store shelves longer, but they add unnecessary chemicals to the diet. These changes began in the 1980s and 90s as the demand for convenience foods with longer shelf lives grew. While Twinkies still offer a nostalgic treat, their modern ingredients list makes them far less healthy than their 1970s counterparts.
Lay's potato chips are so thin, so crisp, so light, no one can eat just one.
You're kidding. I can.
Lay's potato chips. In the 70s, Lay's potato chips were a more straightforward and healthier snack. They were made with 3 ingredients: potatoes, oil, and salt. This straightforward recipe made them a more natural choice with fewer concerns about additives and chemicals. The chips tasted fresh and authentic, made from real potatoes fried in essential oils without artificial additives. Over the years, Lay's potato chips have changed significantly. Today, many varieties include artificial flavors. One common preservative used is TBHQ, which helps extend shelf life, but has been linked to potential health risks such as effects on the liver and increased risk of cancer when consumed in large amounts. Including artificial flavors and colors is meant to enhance taste and appearance, but these additives can have negative health impacts, including allergic reactions and hyperactivity in children. These changes began mainly in the 80s and 90s, driven by the food industry's push for longer shelf lives and cost reductions. While Lay's potato chips remain a popular snack, their modern version is less healthy than the original recipe due to adding artificial ingredients and preservatives. Lay's potato chips embraced additives for shelf life. Oreos faced a similar fate. But how did these changes in snack recipes, driven by industry demands, impact the health-conscious choices of consumers transitioning from simpler times to the complex world of artificial ingredients and preservatives?
Oh, please don't fiddle with the Oreo middle. Don't tear them apart. Have a heart.
But middleman, you gotta eat the frosty cream middles first.
Oreos. Oreos were a healthier treat than today's version. The original recipe used natural sugar, unbleached flour, and genuine cocoa, which made Oreos a simpler and more natural cookie. Real sugar provided pure sweetness, unbleached flour retained more nutrients, and natural cocoa delivered a rich, authentic chocolate flavor. However, the recipe for Oreos changed. Modern Oreos often contain high fructose corn syrup, partially hydrogenated oils, and artificial flavors. High fructose corn syrup, used to replace natural sugar, is linked to obesity and diabetes. Partially hydrogenated oils, which contain trans fats, are associated with heart disease and other health issues. Artificial flavors, used to mimic the taste of natural ingredients, can cause allergic reactions and other health problems. These changes began in the 1980s and 90s as food manufacturers sought to cut costs and extend shelf life. High fructose corn syrup and artificial flavors are cheaper than their natural counterparts, and partially hydrogenated oils help keep cookies fresh longer.
Now with macaroni and cheese, we think Kraft is the finest kind, and it's only pennies more. The cheese sauce is thick and rich, and none ever goes to waste.
Kraft macaroni and cheese. Kraft macaroni and cheese was a more straightforward and healthier dish. It was made with just pasta, cheddar cheese, and milk. These ingredients provided a wholesome meal with a natural taste and fewer additives. The cheese was real, offering a rich flavor and better nutritional value. Today's Kraft macaroni and cheese has changed significantly. Modern versions often include artificial dyes, flavors, and preservatives like sodium tripolyphosphate. Synthetic dyes used to give the cheese its bright color have been linked to hyperactivity in children and other health concerns. Artificial flavors mimic the taste of real cheese but can cause allergic reactions. Sodium tripolyphosphate, a preservative, helps extend shelf life but can affect kidney function and bone health with long-term consumption. As a result, today's Kraft macaroni and cheese is less healthy than its 1970s counterpart. Jell-O gelatin. Jell-O gelatin was a more straightforward and healthier dessert. It was made with essential ingredients like gelatin, sugar, and natural flavorings. These components made Jell-O a relatively wholesome treat with a straightforward and natural taste. Today's Jell-O gelatin is quite different. Modern versions often contain artificial colors, flavors, and preservatives such as sodium benzoate. Artificial colors give Jell-O its bright, eye-catching hues, but are linked to hyperactivity in children and other health issues. Artificial flavors replace natural ones, providing a synthetic taste and potential allergens. Sodium benzoate, a preservative, helps extend shelf life but can form benzene, a carcinogen combined with vitamin C. These changes began in the 1980s and 90s as manufacturers aimed to cut costs and extend product longevity. Consequently, today's Jell-O gelatin is less healthy than its 1970s version due to these added artificial ingredients and preservatives. As we reminisce about the wholesome simplicity of the 1970s Jell-O gelatin, just like Wonder Bread's transformation, how did another beloved staple, adorned by many lunch tables, become laden with artificial additives and preservatives?
Kids don't always eat what they bring for lunch, see?
I know mine eat their lunch now. I pack their favorite sandwiches on their favorite bread. Wonder.
Wonder Bread. Wonder Bread was made with enriched wheat flour, water, yeast, and salt. This simple recipe provided a more natural and healthier bread with essential nutrients and fewer additives. Now, Wonder Bread's recipe has changed significantly. Modern versions often include preservatives like calcium propionate and azodicarbonamide. Calcium propionate is used to prevent mold growth and extend shelf life, but it can cause headaches and stomach issues in some people. Azodicarbonamide, a dough conditioner, improves texture but has been linked to respiratory issues and it's banned in some countries due to its health risks. Although Wonder Bread remains popular, its modern ingredients are less healthy than the 1970s version. They introduce unnecessary chemicals and potential health risks into a once simple and nutritious food.
Another Kellogg's Cornflakes morning with Cornelius Brewster.
Kellogg's Cornflakes. Kellogg's Cornflakes were made with milled corn, malt flavoring, and sugar. This simple recipe provided a straightforward, healthier cereal option with natural sweetness and minimal additives. But the recipe for cornflakes changed. Modern versions often included added sweeteners like high fructose corn syrup and preservatives such as BHT. High fructose corn syrup, a cheaper sweetener, is linked to obesity and diabetes. BHT, used to preserve freshness, has potential links to cancer and other health issues when consumed in large amounts. These changes began in the 80s as the food industry focused on cost reduction and longer shelf lives. Introducing these additives and preservatives has transformed a once simple cereal into a product with more health risks.
Here at Post, we don't think winter is for hibernating. It just takes a little more energy to do things, like getting the kids ready. So we count on grape nuts to help give us lots of energy, no matter what the forecast.
Post-grape nuts. Post-grape nuts were a healthier cereal choice. They were made from whole grain wheat flour, malted barley flour, salt, and dried yeast. This simple and natural recipe provided a nutritious breakfast with high fiber content and no unnecessary additives. The recipe for grape nuts has changed. Some modern versions now contain added sugars and additional preservatives. These added sugars increase the calorie count and reduce the overall health benefits, contributing to issues like obesity and diabetes. Preservatives are used to extend shelf life but can introduce unwanted chemicals into the diet, potentially causing various health concerns. Consequently, today's grape nuts are less healthy than the original 1970s version, shifting from a straightforward wholesome cereal to one with added ingredients that diminish its nutritional value.
This is the boss I meant, the 64-ounce bottle from Pepsi-Cola. Easy shape for handling and just the right size for a crowd of Pepsi drinkers.
Pepsi-Cola. Pepsi-Cola was a relatively healthier soft drink. It was made with real sugar, providing a natural sweetness and less artificial flavors and preservatives. This simpler formula made it a more straightforward beverage with fewer health concerns. Over time, the recipe for Pepsi changed significantly. Modern versions often use high fructose corn syrup, HFCS, instead of natural sugar. HFCS is a cheaper sweetener linked to obesity, diabetes, and other health issues. Additionally, today's Pepsi contains more artificial flavors and preservatives to enhance taste and extend shelf life, introducing unnecessary chemicals into the beverage. Modern Pepsi is less healthy compared to its 1970s counterpart, shifting from a more natural soda to one with ingredients that pose more significant health risks. We reminisce about the simpler days of Pepsi-Cola, but did Heinz ketchup evolve similarly, shifting from a natural recipe to one laden with high fructose corn syrup and artificial additives?
Heinz ketchup. Think how good it's going to taste when it finally gets there.
Heinz ketchup. Heinz ketchup was a healthier condiment choice. Its original recipe consisted of tomatoes, vinegar, sugar, salt, and spices, providing a simple and natural flavor without excessive additives. The iconic Heinz ketchup bottle, with its distinctive shape and narrow neck, was designed in 1890 by Henry Heinz Company to improve pouring and storage. Its design prevents the ketchup from getting stuck inside the bottle. While primarily known as a condiment for burgers, fries, and hot dogs, Heinz ketchup is also used in various recipes, including sauces, marinades, and dressings. However, the recipe for Heinz ketchup changed significantly. Modern versions often include high fructose corn syrup and other sweeteners, altering its taste and nutritional profile. HFCS, a cheaper alternative to sugar, is associated with health issues like obesity and diabetes when consumed in excess. These alterations began in the late 70s and gained momentum in the 80s and 90s, driven by the food industry's desire to reduce cost and increase shelf life. Consequently, today's Heinz ketchup is less healthy than its 1970s counterpart, with added sweeteners and ingredients that diminish its original simplicity and nutritional value.
Dance, you see someone you really like to meet.
Go on, Arnie. She might say no. Not these. Yeah. Who could say no to Doritos?
Doritos. Doritos were a more straightforward and healthier snack option. They were made with essential ingredients like corn, vegetable oil, and salt, providing a more natural and straightforward flavor. Doritos were invented in the early 1960s by Arch West, a Frito-Lay marketing executive. He got the idea for flavored tortilla chips while traveling in Southern California. Doritos made their debut in 1964, initially as a plain corn chip. It wasn't until 1966 that the first flavored variety, toasted corn, was introduced. The iconic nacho cheese flavor was introduced in 1972 and quickly became a fan favorite. Its bold and tangy taste has remained immensely popular ever since. Nevertheless, over time, the recipe for Doritos underwent significant changes. Modern versions often contain artificial colors, flavors, and numerous preservatives to enhance taste and prolong shelf life. While making the chips more appealing and convenient, these additives also introduce unnecessary chemicals into the diet. Today's Doritos are less healthy than their 1970s counterparts, with added artificial ingredients and preservatives that diminish their original simplicity and nutrition. Just like how modern Doritos have evolved with additives, what changes have altered the purity of Hershey's Milk Chocolate Bar, once a beacon of wholesome indulgence?
The taste of chocolate when it's a Hershey bar. Oh, Hershey! Some things are perfect just the way they are.
Hershey's Milk Chocolate Bar. In the 70s, Hershey's Milk Chocolate Bar was a more straightforward and healthier treat. It was made with essential ingredients like cocoa beans, milk, sugar, and vanilla, providing it a rich and natural chocolate flavor. The Hershey Company, originally known as the Hershey Chocolate Company, was founded by Milton S. Hershey in 1894 in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. The company's mission was to produce affordable chocolate for the masses. Introduced in 1900, the Hershey's Milk Chocolate Bar was the company's first mass-produced chocolate bar. It quickly became one of Hershey's most iconic products and a staple in American households. However, the recipe for Hershey's Milk Chocolate Bar changed over time. Modern versions may contain artificial vanillin and other stabilizers to enhance flavor and texture. These additives improve the consistency and taste of the chocolate, but also introduce synthetic elements into the recipe. Now, Hershey's Milk Chocolate Bar is less healthy than its 1970s counterpart, with added artificial ingredients and stabilizers, diminishing its original simplicity and nutritional value.
The Appleseed Crunch. The Appleseed Crunch that's way too much is part of this complete breakfast.
Cheerios. Cheerios were a healthier breakfast option. The original recipe included whole grain oats, sugar, salt, and barley malt extract, providing a simple and nutritious start to the day. Whole grain oats offer fiber and essential nutrients, while a small amount of sugar and salt add flavor without excess. However, as time passed, the recipe for Cheerios evolved. Modern versions of Cheerios may include additional sweeteners and preservatives. These changes began in the 1980s and 90s, driven by shifts in consumer preferences and industry practices. Some varieties now contain added sugars like high fructose corn syrup, which can contribute to health issues such as obesity and diabetes when consumed in excess. Preservatives are often added to extend shelf life and maintain freshness, but they introduce unnecessary chemicals into the cereal. Introducing these additives has transformed Cheerios from a simple and wholesome breakfast cereal into a product with potentially harmful health impacts. Despite efforts to offer healthier alternatives, such as whole grain or reduced sugar versions, many modern varieties of Cheerios are less nutritious than their 1970s counterparts. As consumer awareness of health issues grow, there's increasing demand for simpler and more natural food options reminiscent of the original Cheerios recipe.
Now let's ride with the Nabisco pony.
Reach for Nabisco.
Partner!
Reach for Nabisco.
Nabisco Fig Newtons. Nabisco Fig Newtons were considered a healthier snack option. They were made with real figs, wheat flour, and natural sweeteners, providing a satisfyingly fruity and wholesome treat. However, over time, the recipe for Fig Newtons changed. Modern versions often contain high fructose corn syrup and artificial flavors to enhance sweetness and taste. While these additives make the cookies more appealing and convenient, they also introduce excessive sugars and synthetic elements into the recipe. Consequently, today's Fig Newtons are less healthy than their 1970s counterparts, with added high fructose corn syrup and artificial flavors that diminish their original simplicity and nutritional value. After the Nabisco Fig Newtons, how did the simplicity of Betty Crocker cake mixes from the 70s give way to the incorporation of high fructose corn syrup and artificial additives, altering their original appeal and nutritional value?
With Betty Crocker's new honey spice cake mix, I just wish you'd seen it. High and light and moist.
Stop it, dear. I'm starving.
Betty Crocker cake mixes. Betty Crocker cake mixes were a convenient yet relatively healthy home baking option. The early mixes included simple ingredients like flour, sugar, baking powder, and salt. These essential components offered a straightforward, natural baking experience with fewer artificial additives. As time went on, the recipe for Betty Crocker cake mixes changed. Modern versions often include artificial colors, flavors, and preservatives to enhance taste, appearance, and shelf life. These additives began being incorporated into the mixes in the 1980s and 90s as food manufacturers sought to improve consistency and appeal to consumer preferences. Artificial colors and flavors can add vibrant hues and mimic natural taste in food products. However, synthetic chemicals such as propyl gallate are often added as preservatives to prevent spoilage and extend shelf life. Despite their benefits, there are concerns about potential health risk associated with consuming these chemicals in large amounts. Including these additives has transformed Betty Crocker cake mixes from a more straightforward and potentially healthier option into a product with more artificial ingredients and potential health risks. As consumer awareness of the importance of natural and wholesome ingredients grows, there is increasing demand for baking mixes that resemble the more straightforward recipes of the 1970s.
That's for sure. Slurping's fun in every way. Wholesome Campbell's makes their day. Possibilities.
Campbell's Chicken Noodle Soup. Campbell's Chicken Noodle Soup was a nourishing option for many families. The original recipe included simple and wholesome ingredients like chicken, water, noodles, carrots, celery, and seasonings. These natural components provided a hearty and comforting soup without excessive additives. However, the recipe for Campbell's Chicken Noodle Soup changed over time. Modern versions often contain additives like monosodium glutamate, added sodium, and other preservatives. These changes began in the late 70s and continued into the 80s and 90s as food manufacturers sought to improve flavor and extend shelf life. MSG, a flavor enhancer, is added to intensify the soup's taste, but has been linked to adverse reactions in some individuals. Added sodium is also used to enhance flavor, but can contribute to health issues like blood pressure when consumed in excess. Other preservatives are added to prolong shelf life, but introduce unnecessary chemicals into the soup. As a result of these changes, modern Campbell's Chicken Noodle Soup is less healthy compared to its 1970s counterpart, with added artificial ingredients and preservatives that diminish its original nutritional value and simplicity.
Around 2:30, I've really got the hungries, and I need something, and that something is a Snickers bar.
Satisfying.
Snickers bar. In the 1970s, Snickers bars were a healthier treat than today's versions. The original recipe featured real milk chocolate, peanuts, caramel, and nougat, satisfyingly blending natural flavors and textures. The recipe for Snickers bars changed significantly. Modern versions often contain more artificial flavors, preservatives, and hydrogenated oils. These changes began in the late 70s and gained momentum in the 80s and 90s as food manufacturers sought to enhance taste, texture, and shelf life. Artificial flavors and preservatives are added to mimic the taste and extend the freshness of the candy bar, but they introduce synthetic chemicals into the recipe. Hydrogenated oils, used to maintain texture and increase shelf stability, contain trans fats linked to heart disease and other health issues. Today's Snickers bars are less healthy than their 1970s counterparts, with added artificial ingredients and trans fats that diminish their original nutritional value and increase their potential health risks. As we delve into the evolution of snacks, how did the pursuit of convenience and taste transform other beloved classics, like Quaker Oats oatmeal, into processed versions laden with sugars and artificial additives?
Starting them off with hot Quaker oatmeal is the right thing to do.
It's the right thing for you, too, you know. You can stand the warming and the nourishment.
Quaker oatmeal, ready to serve.
Quaker Oats oatmeal. Quaker Oats oatmeal was a simple, wholesome breakfast made from pure rolled oats. These oats were minimally processed, retaining most of their natural nutrients, fiber, and health benefits. Oatmeal was celebrated for its ability to lower cholesterol, provide sustained energy, and support overall heart health. However, the landscape of Quaker Oats oatmeal began to change in the 80s and 90s as the brand introduced new varieties to appeal to a broader market. Convenience and taste became top priorities, leading to the addition of sugars, artificial flavors, and preservatives in many modern versions. Instant oatmeal packets, for example, often contain significant amounts of added sugars and synthetic ingredients to enhance flavor and reduce cooking time. The shift from pure rolled oats to these processed versions significantly impacted the nutritional profile of Quaker Oats products. Added sugars contribute to higher calorie content and can lead to blood sugar spikes, which are less ideal for maintaining steady energy levels. Artificial flavors and preservatives, while extending shelf life and improving taste, can detract from the natural health benefits of the oats. Quaker Oats oatmeal was a straightforward, healthy choice with pure rolled oats in the 1970s. Over the decades, adding sugars, artificial flavors, and preservatives altered its nutritional value, making many modern versions less healthy. This transformation reflects broader trends in the food industry, where convenience and taste often precede nutritional integrity.
Pumpkin pie, pumpkin bread, don't forget the pumpkin cookies. A lot of recipes call for a can of pumpkin. But what's really in that can?
Libby's Canned Pumpkin. Libby's Canned Pumpkin was a nutritious pantry staple. It contained only 100% pure pumpkin, providing a convenient way to enjoy the health benefits of this nutrient-rich vegetable. The absence of added sweeteners or stabilizers ensured that consumers received a pure and wholesome product rich in vitamins, minerals, and fiber. Nevertheless, the recipe for canned pumpkin has evolved. Some modern varieties may include added sweeteners or stabilizers to enhance flavor, texture, and shelf life. While these additives increase the product's appeal and convenience, they introduce unnecessary sugars and chemicals into what was once a natural and nutritious food. These changes began gradually, with the introduction of added ingredients becoming more common in the late 20th century and continuing into the present day. Consequently, today's canned pumpkin products may be less healthy than their 1970s counterparts, with added artificial ingredients diminishing their original purity and nutritional value. This shift highlights a departure from the simple and wholesome qualities that initially made canned pumpkin a healthy choice.
And butter rice-a-roni, wow. Savory rice pilaf rice-a-roni, great. Large, I just tried the new rice-a-roni flavor. I just tried it too.
Rice-a-roni. Rice-a-roni was considered a more nutritious side dish option. The original recipe consisted of simple ingredients like rice, vermicelli, chicken broth, and seasonings, providing a satisfying and flavorful meal accompaniment. But the recipe for rice-a-roni has changed. Modern versions may contain additives like monosodium glutamate, hydrogenated oils, and various preservatives to enhance flavor, texture, and shelf life. While making the dish more flavorful and convenient, these additives introduce unnecessary chemicals and unhealthy fats into the mix. Consequently, rice-a-roni is less healthy compared to its 1970s counterpart. Its added artificial ingredients and preservatives diminish its original simplicity and nutritional value. This shift highlights a departure from the natural and wholesome qualities that initially made rice-a-roni a healthier choice.